Okay, spheres and cones. These kind of look, they look tricky, but actually these are kind of relatively okay for us. Okay, so let's just kind of establish first of all what we've actually got. I'm going to try and let's be all arty for you. There we go. There's my sphere. Right, it's a football basically. Here you go. Look, I'll give it a little bit of depth. Yeah, look, there's my art bit. That makes all the difference, doesn't it? Right, it's not just a circle. So the radius is like the right in the centre of that sphere football, and coming out there, and it's just given by the surface area of sphere is 4 pi r squared. Now generally if this comes up in an exam question it would usually give you this, so it's not kind of vital that you remember that off by heart. It's useful, but you said you'll be told that if you need it. So here we go, look, sphere with radius 3 centimeters. I want to find out the surface area. Here we go, pop 3 into there, so 4 times pi multiplied by 3 squared. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 4, 36 pi. It's an area, so centimeters squared. Remember, if you want this as a decimal answer, this is what we call the exact answer. If you want that as a decimal answer, then you could just do 36 times pi. Right, so it's not too much more there. Okay, so what about a cone? So that's the other thing that we're going to have a little look at today is a cone. And again, just thinking about the surface area. So again, so I'll just quickly sketch one. I'm going to just write down the formula for you. And there you go, checking out my artwork there. There we go, there's my cone. Right, there's two things that we need to know to work out the surface area of a cone. And again, we need to know the radius at the bottom. Okay, so we need to know the radius, and the other thing that we need to know is that we need to know this length just here. This is called the slant height, because the vertical height would be in there. If I do put that in, we're not going to do this bit now, but something else to look out for that quite often pops up in these questions. Look, got a right angled triangle. A little bit of Pythagoras going on there. But we're not going to worry too much about that. I'm just going to move my page up a little bit just so you can see a little bit more there. Okay, so we've got the radius and we've got the slant height just there. So if we now just write this down, so the surface area is just pi RL plus pi r squared, and we just pop in what we know. Okay, and again, you would be told this, all right? So don't be worried about trying to remember it. Okay, there we go. So let's fill this in. So we've got pi. I've got my question here: cone with a base radius of 4, slant height of 10 centimeters. So let's just literally just fill those things in and work it out. Don't try and work it all out straight away, because there's a good chance that you'll make a mistake. It's much easier to just do it one thing at a time. 4 times 10, 40. So I've got 40 pi plus 16 pi. There we go. Add that lot together and we end up with 56 pi, and then it's centimeters squared. So remember this, so that's exact answer. If we want it as a decimal, work it out as a decimal. Alright. Right. I've got a few more questions here. So you're going to go and have a go at a few questions. Now at the end of those, one of the things that I wanted you to do is I want you to have a go at these recap questions from previous. And if we look at these here, so these are our last 3 questions today. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just so you can see that a little bit more clearly. I've got, that's 3, that's 6, and that's 5. Hope you can see that a bit better. And then I've got 4, and I've got 5, 3, and we've got 8 just there. Right, okay, let's have a quick look at these. So surface area. This is nice. It's just made up of rectangles. Okay, I've got a rectangle, I've got a rectangle, and I've got a rectangle, and each rectangle happens twice. So we got 6 multiplied by 3, which is 18. That's that one. And then we've got 5 multiplied by 3, which is 15, which is that one. And then we've also got 5 multiplied by 6, which is 30, which is underneath, or on the top if you prefer. What do? We add this lot together, and that comes to 30, 40, 50, 55, 63. And then what are we going to do to that? Is we're going to multiply it by 2. 63 multiplied by 2, which is equal to 126, and that's centimetres squared. Alright, let's have a look at this one. Remember, you should have been, make sure you try these questions before you actually listen to me doing the questions. Okay, so let's go back. It's a cylinder again, isn't it? So I've got 2 circles, area of the top circle. So we've got pi r squared. So looking at this one, radius is 5. So it's pi times 25. That's 5 squared. I've got 2 of these, haven't we? So 25 pi, so that's going to be 50 pi. Okay, I'm going through this bit a little bit quicker. So that's the area of the 2 circles. And then remember, we've got this wraparound part, which is just a rectangle. And that's going to be 1 dimension is 4. Okay, that's that bit there. Then we've got the wraparound. And remember, it's the circumference of the circle. And circumference of a circle is pi times d. So it would be 10 pi. 10 pi. There we go. 10 pi times 4, 40 pi. Add those 2 things together, and we've got 90 pi centimetres squared. All right. Now, the last question is a little challenge for us. All right, so we'll just have a little look at this one here. So we've got this weird situation. It's like we've got a cone on top of half a football. So that is odd. I'm going to need a little bit more space to do this question. So I'm going to sketch out again. I can have a little think about what we've got. I'm going to break it up. So I've got the top bit of the cone. I know that's 8, and I know the radius of that cone is 3. Now let's just think again how you work out the surface area of a cone and what's different about this. So if you remember, it was, well, we'll just try and get it so you can actually see that for us. Pi RL plus pi r squared. You see this bit here? Pi r squared. That's the circle. That's the bit underneath. So the pi RL bit, that's the curved bit. So for the question that we wanted, it's only the pi RL bit that we actually want. So here we wanted the whole cone. So it's the curved bit plus the circle at the bottom. So what we've got to do is we're only going to do pi RL. Now obviously this is a little bit harder. Okay, it's not the actual maths, the calculation of it is easy. It's understanding that that's what you actually need to do. So that's going to be pi multiplied by, what are the dimensions? We got r is times 3 times by 8. So that's going to be 24 pi. There we go. Right. Now we've got the curved part, but it's only half a football. It's half a football. So how did we work out the area? Looks like a little smiley there. Yeah, a bit of artistic maths there. It was 4 pi r squared to work out the whole football. We only want half of football. I'm not worried about the circular bit in the middle. I'm just interested in that half. So 4 pi r squared is the whole thing. So we're going to have 2 pi r squared. So 2 pi r squared. So 2 times pi times 3 squared. That's 9 times 2, 18. 18 pi. 18 pi plus 24 pi is going to be 42 pi. 42 pi centimetres squared. Again, work it out decimal places if that's what you want. And that was because we're not counting that circle in there for the cone, and it's only half the football to consider. Alright, so it's a little bit trickier to do that question. I'll just leave that bit there for you. So kind of freeze on that bit, and hopefully been okay with that. So here we go.